If you have a cell phone, you can find them, put it on stand. And, the quiet mode. Turn it off. Also, the roll and. POI. Paul Brown. Present. Nikki Helms.
Present.
Grace Gasper.
Present.
Gavin Watkins.
Present.
Chris Crowley is here. Don Timmons.
Here.
Tim Browser.
Here.
And Floyd Lee. All right, again, it's my pleasure, it's a great pleasure and honor. I'm happy to welcome Pastor Chris Hamill back to Mullenville. He was a significant, unifier of this community, starting in about 2015, and rolling up to 2020. And it's just a real gift to meet you, sir. And I thought I'd give you some prayer.
Hi, young Sid. I think it's very young Sid. I'll pray. I can pray over you. That when he wants. For those of you that know me, I was a pastor at TV Day many years ago. And being all the year, I was just a piece of my heart is holding on. So the grace is prayer, it comes from the heart. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we are thankful for this day more than any others. It is a holy week. The week that your son gave his life for everyone in this room, for this entire world. He extended grace that we desperately needed, but we could never attain. And so it had to come through your son. So Father, as someone who has pastored here over several many years, I love this people. I love this town. And I know that there are seasons of the triumphs and seasons of trial. And Father, I sense a season of trial for this community I love. So Father, I pray that there's grace. Grace that can only come from your son, especially during this holy week. It'll come not only from those that you have sovereignly ordained to lead this town to become more unified through Mayor Crowley and council members, but also the leaders within the community, Father. May they see grace upon grace as Jesus did when he died on that cross for us. So Father, may we come together in one body of people, one community, one city, one town, one ideals. And they all know once again be that light for those that so desperately need to see light. May the words that are expressed today be the ones that are discerned and approved only by you. May the actions that the leaders that you selected to be leading your town, Father, may they only come from you. And may each and every action and word speak and point to your Son, Jesus Christ. So in his name I pray.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Another guy, you like to leave? I'd like to introduce to the flag, the United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ms. Brown, the road pledge.
We pledge to build a stronger and more prosperous community by advocating for civil engagement, respecting others and their viewpoints, and finding solutions for the betterment of the town of Mullenville.
All right, is there a motion for the approval of the April agenda?
Motion to approve.
Second,
Second.
any discussion?
Yes. I think we need to have a better format for exhibits for the agenda. We have an agenda. And it has 19 items on it, including the adjournment. But for example, there's starting off at number 7, appointment of gentleman down the clerk. Then moving on to 15A, little Roman number 1, appointment of bids and purchasers committee, and then other business items number 8B, consideration of the 2026 transportation sales tax project for town of Alva, the county. I was kind of hoping to get a narrative or an explanation of something to be included with this agenda. And maybe this pertains more to the agenda tactics than the actual agenda itself. But then the information that we get, for example, the stuff that we had online is the agenda, and then I believe it was 122 pages just of different information. And it's not organized in any discernible format. So I suggest that going forward, that it be done in that fashion. That the exhibits that come with the agenda be organized so that when you look at the agenda and you look at the exhibits, you can go, okay, this one is pertaining to item number 7 on the agenda. Or this one is item number 18, subparagraph B. Because these are on the agenda, I guess we're gonna discuss these things. But there's nothing that we can look at or no written documentation, and that forms the public record. And it'll be sorely lacking, and given the, what we've seen in the way of minutes and not having them, contemporary and on time, it's just very confusing and hard to put this stuff together and organize it. And so I just want to make those comments on the agenda and the agenda package going forward. Thanks.
And just brother. Just so you know. Any other discussion on the approval of the April agenda?
I would just like to say a point of order on unfinished business, item A, ordinance 2025-45. It is specifically just put on your agenda packets to show that there are pending unfinished business items. This item is not ready for the council to take any action on, as it's still pending discussions with our town planner, our legal counsel, and the property owners and their legal counsel. So there's nothing to be presented at council.
That's number 16 unfinished business item.
Yes.
All right, so I believe there's a motion and a second on the floor. Is there any further discussion on the approval of the April agenda? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor of approval of the April agenda, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Approval of the April agenda passed. Number 7. Is there a motion concerning the appointment of interim town clerk?
The town clerk is an appointed official by council, so in order to have an interim town clerk, it needs to have a motion and a second of the staff member that you are looking to appoint as that interim.
I'll entertain a motion to appoint Ms. Tequila White as the interim town clerk.
Motion to approve.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
All right, discussion.
Yes, this will be for all the duties and responsibilities as spelled out in the state code and the town of Alva code. This individual will have all those duties and responsibilities.
Yes, we are working through the financial responsibilities with that individual of sharing those duties, but ultimately right now it would be to handle all of the prescribed meeting minutes and custodial records.
Well, here's my concern. There are requirements spelled out in the state code for a town. We can't alter those, correct? The requirements that are spelled out in the state code, we can't alter. The duties and responsibilities that are spelled out in the town code that do not contradict those in the state code, we have full authority to alter as we see fit, correct? So if we are going to put someone in that position now without altering those duties and responsibilities, it's currently written in our town code, they have those duties and responsibilities. Is that correct? So I think this is a little bit premature to just say, we're gonna appoint somebody as a temporary town clerk. We absolutely need help, and I'm extremely pleased that we have Ms. White here to help us out, and thank you so much for doing so. I'm also very supportive of promoting people from within. That happened to me a lot during my career. But I just want to put that out there, and we need to know what we're doing. And I think sometimes we jump into things without really thinking it through carefully. Because if whoever we put in this position right now, they are gonna have those duties and responsibilities. What I would suggest is a better plan of action would be to craft what those duties and responsibilities would be that Ms. White wants to do and is capable of doing for us. Heck, she might not want to even do all of it. Who knows? But that we get that well defined and work from that perspective. Because otherwise, she's gonna be our accountant by the town code. That's what it says. And I just think that we're jumping into this thing too quickly, and it needs further consideration. And we can see how it goes, and especially with respect to the finances of the town. It concerns me the most of anything associated with this town. Is the financial condition of this town. We're so far behind on audits and stuff that I have seen more recently. That in various aspects of the conduct of business of the town. I'm extremely concerned about the financial condition of the town. We need to get somebody that is, or some way to deal with that particular thing. Whether it's going to be the clerk as spelled out in our code, or it's perhaps amended, or a different staff person to do it. We've had some conversations in that regard. But I think we need to get that stuff nailed down first. And before we just do this, but we absolutely need to work with Ms. White to elevate her and so that she can help us, because we'll be struggling without her. That's all I have to say about that.
Just will let the record show that Councilman Porche is present. Thanks for hustling to be here. That we have had some discussions on what the responsibilities are. I'm glad that we're in agreement that Ms. White is the lady for the job of what we currently need. I do agree with Mr. Browser that if our existing ordinance does include financial, I don't know what the way forward here is. If we this is probably not what to do, is recraft the motion to say appoint Mr. Keel White as to the duties of town clerk, except for the bookkeeping. I don't think that that's the right way, but that's about what I think we're trying to say. I did speak with Desiree from the Municipal Association about, as we had agreed, and she is getting us some information on an interim financial expert to handle those duties of the clerk. But I think it's a little too much to ask Ms. White to handle her work that she's doing as the planning clerk and the work that's required of the town clerk, as well as, including those financial responsibilities. I believe what my opinion is, we need to get a professional, an independent professional to be in charge of financial and relieve the town clerk, and I guess that will require, if the state allows it, that requires to change our ordinance to remove those financial responsibilities of the clerk to another town employee who's in charge of finances. That all makes sense? Is everybody tracking on what I'm saying there? All right. That's
Did we amend the motion or even the agenda, so appointment of
an interim clerk of council as outlined in state code, which covers those duties, but excludes the town clerk duties from the town.
Not sure. What does Ms. Chloe have to say about?
If there's an existing clerk council position outlined, I think that would be good. But, it really just depends on how everyone's exactly worded.
So,
I suggest that we handle it in this fashion. I believe all the employees are have a just sort of a catch-all description in their job description as under and other duties as assigned, correct?
Yes.
I would suggest that you are town administrator, mayor, or the chairperson of the administrative committee, perhaps sit down and work those issues out as other duties as assigned in the interim and move forward in that fashion. And it may be that we want to ultimately change the duties and functions of the town clerk as provided in our code. But I mean, that's another topic for discussion on another day and for also careful consideration. We don't need to be making knee-jerk decisions on these things. They're crucial. They're extremely important. But I think that's the better way forward.
so procedurally, if I agree with that. I don't think that we can, move forward with the plan that we have with the ordinances we have that also describe the lawful duties of the county. So procedurally, I don't know if we call this the motion we're discussing to a vote and vote it down. Or how that goes, and then create another motion that says other duties. Other duties as assigned until we can work out the clerk position, and then we'll work that out and with Ms. White and.
And I'll note that it can be voted down or it can be withdrawn.
I think I make the motion, and then I withdraw the motion. And then you can do a new motion.
All right, I will make a motion, see if I get this right, that we, the town administrator, the mayor, and the chairperson of the administrative committee meet with Ms. White and discuss additional duties and responsibilities as assigned to her current position with respect to additional duties of the that were formerly done by our previous town clerk. And that we do this as expeditiously as possible. So we'll need to get together and get a date. That's my motion, and bring it back to council. That's my motion.
Second.
Excuse me.
Second.
Discussion on the motion on the floor. My only comment is, if you go, Dennis, you go.
No, I was just gonna say, I assume you all have discussed this and you're feeling okay about taking all this on in addition to your current responsibilities?
So yes,
I
had
wanna
a
know you're happy
conversation-
with this.
I had a conversation this week with Catherine, and I also had a conversation with Catherine and the mayor. And we did come to something that seemed amicable for now, but also because I've also been a manager of business before, and because I know the foundation of this business. What I didn't want to do is jump out of my role as a planning clerk, because that department is now getting to where it needs to be. To take on clerk duties, then that would shift the planning department and would be at a detriment. So I asked if there was some way that we could of clerkdom somehow so that I could still be in support of the planning department. Because most of my applied knowledge that I obtained while I was here, even though I did also attain my clerk certification while here, has been geared towards planning. So it would just be kind of crazy to take me from one, the town's already invested in me for the planning department.
and it's all been recent. I've only been here June be 4 years. To take me from there permanently, and then just skate me into this and shift me into this, which it would then, like I said, would rock the whole foundation of this business, so it does need more fleshing out. We discussed that it needed additional conversation, so right now, I'm just working at the leisure of the council to try to make sure that we can still stay balanced and even. There are decisions that need to be made, and still more thorough conversation that should be held around this. But as of right now, I'm present, I'm trying to, hold the house up the best way I can along with you guys, but I just think it just needs more discussion. It shouldn't be something that we just jump to do, just right now. Also because and also for the sake of Dan, we've already developed a really good working relationship, and like I said, we started really organizing the planning department. So I don't wanna, and I also, Cat being down a man, I also don't want that to fail either, so I'm trying to find my place where I'm also working with you guys in discussion.
Thank you for being
Well said.
willing to.
Well said. I mean, we also discussed, and it's worth saying out loud, that, if you work harder, you get paid more. And that your compensation should reflect the extra effort, and, I'd just like to have that, I'm not asking you to. I'm not asking anyone to not consider that real consideration. Any further discussion on the motion? Hearing now, call for a vote, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Or no? It carries unanimously. Thank you. Enjoy. All right, item number 8, approval of the previous meeting minutes, and that's, for February 5th, 2026, regular meeting. We do these one by one, or are we trying to do these?
It can be either or, it could be a motion to adopt all of the previous meeting minutes, or you could do them one by one, that is at the council's discretion.
All right, is there a motion to approve the previous meeting minutes from February 5th, 2026, regular meeting?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yes. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. And I've read them, and I can't vote for these, so I guess I should have made a motion to postpone all of them at one time, rather than doing them one at a time, for the sake of brevity. But I think they need to be redone so that they're in a format that can be understood. It's also extremely important that we get these on a timely basis so that we can look at them one meeting at a time. Or at least 2. If we have a special meeting, we can approve those meetings as regular scheduled meeting. But you come out with 4 or more meeting minutes that go months back, it's number one, it's hard to keep track of that. There's stuff that's in here that we should have accomplished by now, that we haven't done. And the reason why we haven't done it is because we didn't get the minutes on time to say, hey, we're supposed to be doing this. So I suggest that they really just need to be redone. And we need to come up to speed with on the various things. There were motions that were made, votes taken, of us engaging in activities through these minutes that just have not been done. And the reason why they haven't been done is because we do our business and we go home and then we wait for the next time. But if we get those minutes in a timely fashion, we can look at that and say, hey, we're supposed to be doing this stuff. We can make our edits and our corrections, suggestions. And then we know that when we get to that next meeting, we're prepared to act upon what it says in those minutes, and they're clear and concise and we understand them. So I can't vote for any of these. And if you want me to make a motion to deny them and regroup and fix them, I'm prepared to do that. Or we can vote on one at a time, y'all's pleasure.
Ms. Helms?
I had a totally different discussion point. The only thing I asked, I thought Ron did a good report on the water. And Chief Gadsden has provided good reports when he's done, his annual, reports. I do think it would be beneficial if we had, maybe Chief Gadsden was going to give us this, maybe just have like quick notes, but I feel like Ron actually had like a real report that should be attached as an exhibit with the minutes that can be uploaded because while it's beneficial that the minutes reflect that he provided a report, if someone wasn't here, obviously they can watch the video. But if they wanted to just read through his report, I do think that's valuable when we have people present to ask them to give us at least some written version that we can include with their minutes. Going
I
forward.
agree with that completely.
Going forward. And again, that's, we're not requiring the chief or the lieutenant to do that, but it would be nice just so we have it.
And you said going.
Yeah, or like if she can get Ron's report, if we could add those, I think that was in February that he presented, it's reflected that he presented. So we could, and I know it was in like our packet, like somehow just notate in the minutes his report, refer back to the meeting agenda, because I do think his report was included online. Just, I don't know how to flesh that out, but Catherine and I've discussed it, and I do think it's important to at least acknowledge this, like he's acknowledges this exhibit, reflect back to the agenda to find that document.
Right, that makes a lot of sense to me. Mr. Brown, do you have comments on this?
Well, there's a motion on the table, I think, to approve February 5th regular meeting.
Right, and so the,
And we know that there's some hairballs hanging on it,
right,
but I mean, is that gonna stop our forward momentum until we just get it perfect?
right. Grace, you got an opinion on this?
I think that the public is probably tired of
Can
sitting
you speak
here.
up, please?
I think the public is probably growing weary of hearing us discuss meeting minutes. And I think it might be good to just have a small group conversation. Decide on a format, everybody maybe submit to Catherine the list of, anything that your suggestions like yours. Hence, that would help improve the experience and our efficiency. And maybe we can clean that up in the office. And unless anyone has anything glaring, like a motion that wasn't properly recorded or an action that is missing, I would be fine approving these with the understanding that it's a work in progress and we're trying to get a more accurate, efficient format.
Or,
Again. Going forward.
Right.
Continuous improvement, nothing wrong with that.
I do have one concern about asking an individual to redo the minutes who wasn't even sitting in the chair to do. So that's my only concern, is putting that responsibility on her. Like, I respect Councilman Krause's point that they could be beefed up. I'm just not sure who that responsibility should fall on, and I don't think it's fair to put that on this wife, considering we haven't even watched out whether it's from sitting in a room of clerk or reviews. Yeah, so.
of course, they have a
I think Grace, we, public is, just going through each one of these, so I think it should be hashed out in public.
Can you speak up too? They can't.
Well, I have no problem speaking out.
Yeah.
Like I said, I agree with Grace, and I think we should just, because the public is, we've been at these meetings 10, 11 o'clock at night. So we should try to do this, at another time, or whatever the case might be.
Yeah, Pastor Hammond told me you were singing.
I am.
And not, he said you bring a house down. Mr. Kennedy, do you have a comment on this?
I'm with Grace and Rodney, we bring this up with every meeting, past minutes and everything, that should be something that we want to take care of.
I think we're on the right path to get this minute straight. I do agree. I also agree with Mr. Thrower in all consciousness.
Yes.
For me to vote on this minutes would be but these are three that I had a chance to review. There's no further discussion. We'll call for a vote on the motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Nay. Nay. Motion carries. Number 9, approval of previous financial statement.
Wait a minute.
That's only February
I'm sorry, I meant to hang on that.
I make a motion that we consider. Item A, B, C, and D together.
And apply
Second.
retroactively to the vote we just.
Or-
Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Nay.
Nay. Motion carries. Thank you. Have we cleared number 9?
Yes.
Approval of previous financial statements. So I will, is there a motion to approve the previous financial statements?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Let's discuss it.
I just have a very quick question. When we approve these, we're approving these as information, right? Because we don't have the statements or documentation back to them, correct?
Depends
I mean,
on
we
what
don't
your
have-
motion is.
Is that accurate?
I'm sorry. So when we approve like the financial reports that we're getting, they're summaries. We don't have like statements or documentation behind them. So we're approving this as information. Is that correct? Okay, good.
I would suggest if that's the intent, that it be so stated in the motion, so there's no confusion.
Well, the motion, she was, we're discussing, she's just discussion of this, no motion.
Then I amend my original motion.
Yeah.
I amend my original motion to approve, the financial statements for December 2025 and January 2026 as information received. Is that right?
Yes.
Anybody want a second?
Second.
All right, any discussion?
Yes, we get them out there. We have something that we could look at.
Yes,
That we're proposing. You gotta get through all the minutes, but
This packet would have been printed at 122 pages, is that right?
123.
123. One,
See
two,
what that
three,
means.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
all right, there you go, that's the general statement. For the month of December, correct? Let's look at the voting. Items are for. Town of Long financial statement month of December 2025. This is the Synovus Bank General Account. So it's the beginning balance of $1 million whatever. The revenue that came in is added to that, the expense that's listed is subtracted from that, and the reconciled statement is what you see, $1 million and some change. And the ending balance of December 31, 2025 is also that. So if you take that first number, add the revenue, subtract the expense, that's what it equals. I did that, and that's what it is. Can we go to the next slide? That deals with the profit and loss. Okay, there's here we go, profit and loss now on general. December 1 through 31, 2025. So these numbers are supposed to reflect the numbers that we just saw previously, is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay, well, they don't. So. You don't need to keep going. Let's just go back to the stuff that matters.
The general statement.
Yes. No, excuse me, the profit and loss. We saw what was there before. I guess what we're looking at here is the end, total for income, okay, that's 43,877.35, right?
Yes.
So that should match the revenue on the previous, correct?
Correct, it should. I will check the reconciliation report in addition to the profit and loss statement with QuickBooks to understand why it's not matching completely. Because the reconciled statements in our books are reconciled
Okay.
to
well,
the
that-
ending
that one-
balance as of December 31st, 2025.
Right, that appears to meet that. I mean, it'd be good if we could have them side by side, so it wouldn't have to be scrolled back and forth. But I did this exercise with her. And shame on me, I forgot to bring, that I wrote it down, and I was in a hurry to get here, and I just didn't, but echo Mr. Brown. It suits me best when the numbers match. I am a little bit trepidatious in approving something, even for information only, when the numbers come bad. So I can't vote to approve these.
You scroll back down, please, let's go to the,
Profit and loss.
yeah, let me see that 43 number there, so it's 43070. And that is,
Well, no, it's 43,877,35.
yeah, that's what it says up there too.
Except the expenses don't match.
Like the 43,877.25.
And then if you go to the end. The numbers just don't add up. We don't need to do that, right? Unless y'all think to.
Right.
But they don't add. up.
The expenses are off.
The expenses are off by like $5,000.
And there's another one that's off this one. So,
January is the same expenses.
yeah, every one we get is the same, but I mean, do we really have to like sharpen our pencils and add and subtract the numbers? I don't want to have to do that. That's why I'm so concerned about the town's financial situation. And we just approve something and says, oh, okay, yeah, this is good, but it's not. I mean, at my check, I'd be bouncing checks all over the place if I operated my personal finances that way.
It was a valid. Observation. So how do we go on from this? How do we defer this or do we,
I would recommend we deny the approval of these until they get fixed, till they're correct.
where are we now? We have a motion on the floor.
There is a motion on the floor to approve the December 2025 and the January 2026 financial statements as presented as information. And there's a second.
No, we're discussing that now. What do? We withdraw that motion and argue just vote on that and vote.
They're both together, right?
Yes, sir.
You just vote it down. That's the
Well,
desire.
my only problem with this is if we don't take a vote, then it no longer is gonna be included on the website. So that the public can look at this. Just don't we upload this with our
Yes.
minutes?
But
That's not-
I mean, when it's correct.
Yes.
No, I don't think we do.
Yes, we do. When they are approved, they are updated under the finances tab so that they are available for public information as they're.
There's a different financial tab on. the-
Yes, it is special, so it has all of the current audits that have been approved for the public to review.
Well, that's news to me, but you're not with the minutes.
Well, but I mean, they are uploaded somewhere on the website. My only concern is if we don't approve it, then they're still not on the website. And I don't think that's fair.
I would suggest that not having bad numbers is better than having bad numbers.
But not all the numbers are wrong. And if they do need to be corrected and they're not gonna be corrected in a week,
If you want.
And then
to
we
approve
can
vote to
amend it?
approve
but can't we amend
Vote
it?
to deny, vote to deny.
We can amend it, Chloe?
Yes.
Yes, we can amend it to show a corrected statement.
So if it's approved for information, it's not fact, so I mean, it's just. Knowledge, we can go back and.
I think the minutes will reflect that we plan to dive in
Right.
to.
There's a point, actually.
What do you think, legal?
I think that what Wendy says is like completely proper.
So we would approve it as information.
Right.
Yes,
And you know, with the discussion we had on the record that we realize there are errors that Mr. President pointed out.
yes,
And that we should plan to.
yes, and you can take it up as the issue or of business for the next agenda if you plan to amend them and then post them as amended. If approved.
I'm glad you're here, because we would not have thought that, but don't put that in error, don't error. But I get it, it's information, we're not saying it's information and it's true. No, it's back. All right, any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Alright.
All opposed,
Yeah.
motion carries. Love to invite number 10, the Charleston County, Sheriff's Office. Like Ms. Handy is with us again, and, thank you for your patience. I don't think that's supposed to take that long to get to you.
It's all right, it's okay. I'm here all night, so. I do what you gotta do. I'm here till 6 a.m.
6 a.m.
Yes, sir. So again, filling in for Lieutenant Turner, I don't know if he will be here next month or not, and I haven't looked at the calendar yet to see if it might be me or perhaps Lieutenant Blazer, but we'll get there when we get there. We'll just try to get the highlights of these calls for service that we've had. Looks like, shoot, and I don't know, does he send y'all? When he gets it? Okay. I will have to touch base with the intelligence ladies because they do occasionally attach incident reports, like if there's something significant, but I don't believe that they are the redacted versions. So I don't know that I could just forward it to y'all since the reports aren't redacted, but I'll try to touch base with them and see what we can do about that. And I know I filled in for Lieutenant Bollinger yesterday at Lincolnville, and I believe he's been in Lincolnville his report, so I will try to touch base with both intelligence people and Lieutenant Turner about that. Anyhow. Looks like we had one missing person call, one assault call, vandalism, a welfare check, 2 shots heard in the area. Unfortunately, I guess we didn't give any clarification, 2 burglary calls, but she did not sign, like, attach any sort of significant reports for that, so I'm assuming that they'll be done. 4 theft calls. 7 public service, 9 suspicious activity, 11 agency assist, which is usually either an assist with fire and EMS or an outside agency. 15 disturbances, 16 collisions, 16 alarm calls, 24 911 hangups and open lines. They conducted 90 traffic stops in the town last month and 438 patrol runs. Again, they are here. Does anyone have anything for me to pass on?
Did you say there was one missing person?
One is the first call, again, it doesn't, there's nothing attached to it, I'm assuming. It's a big assumption, but it's very likely that it came from, yeah, from Windward, I don't know for sure. If it was significant to it attached to the report, so I'm assuming that it was something negligible.
Anybody have any questions for us, Trey? Well, sir, thank you for your service.
Yes, sir, no worries, and again, I will, touch base with them about trying to send y'all at least the breakdown of the calls or what we can and cannot send, just via email. You're welcome.
Thank you. All right, Allenville Fire Department.
Evening, Kelsey.
Welcome, Chief.
So this month right here, we've had another uptick in calls. We had 156 calls. Most of them medical, it's several different truck fires throughout the county, the district. Of course, it's the dry season. As you all know, we hit some really dry spells. We were in a no burn, no fire period for a short period of time. But you know, it's still dry. There's a burn ban currently, but it's still very dry up there. This month right here, our first line missions team, our TTD, hosted a search and rescue force. And we had Charleston County Sheriff's Lieutenant was part of the force, along with Charleston County Rescue, our members, and some other local members here within the area, just to hone our skills on mapping and strategic tracking of patients or victims and coordinated search and rescue tactics. It's a class that is definitely needed due to the uptick in missing person calls, as Lieutenant mentioned a few minutes ago. And so, now, and having everyone involved, now everyone's on the same page, and they all know the same language. They know exactly where to look, how to look for folks, and what to do to try and mitigate that situation very quickly. Also, I would like to take time to give thanks to the town and also the municipal park commission for allowing us to use the park this month for our statewide exercise. Our statewide exercise this year was wildland fires, and so not only the town assist us and the park commission assist us, but Mr. Freeman and some other members of the community and also HOA boards from Bulls Bay Overlook, Chemical Terrace, Remain Retreat, and also Lion Road. We were allowed to use those areas for our department and other agencies to come in and do some training. And so it was very informative, very eye-opening. We hosted folks from the City of Charleston Fire Department, James Island Fire Department, and also Mount Pleasant Fire Department, along with Charleston PD. We had our mobile command unit set up over at the park. So our incident management team can actually manage the situation, practice managing the situation, while other teams are out there getting some real world experience. So we are very grateful for the support, and we hope that the residents who saw us out there, had received a sense of relief and happiness knowing that we are out there training constantly. And we are working with neighboring agencies to make sure that if that does happen in our community, that other agencies will come in and they know how we are. Other than that, does anyone have any questions for me? Yes, ma'am.
Did you know, maybe, the officer noted how many accidents were in Allendale this month?
I do not know the number of accidents this month, but I can get that.
I saw a really scary one in Aaron's Bridge in 17, and like in the middle of the afternoon.
Yes, ma'am. That's it.
And I know you guys were attending to that, because I saw your truck there, so.
My report's showing 16 collisions.
Okay, thank you.
As you said before, it's getting busier and busier out here, so. Yes, ma'am.
I'm still being sweet.
No. Any further questions, Chief Jackson? Chief, thank you for your.
Yes, sir. Thank
Really
you.
appreciate
Thank you.
you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, on to item number 11, public comments. Is there a preamble for the public comments?
Yes. Well, because there are the new ordinances that was passed in February for the public comment period. Since they are relatively new to Allendale, just pull that ordinance up right now. I'll read through it, rather quickly. It's a total of 30 minutes shall be dedicated to the public comment. At each regular meeting, a period may be extended at the discretion of the mayor, the presiding officer, to accommodate the community interest. Each of individuals' comments will be limited to 3 minutes. Any additional time may be allocated at the discretion of the mayor or the presiding officer. To comply with the spirit of FOIA and ensure that meetings are conducted in an efficient and an orderly manner, council members shall neither respond nor take immediate action or concerns or comments publicly expressed. However, all concerns and comments will be appropriately considered by the council. Council members are committed to engaging with citizens who speak at council meetings after the meeting concludes, and may propose action items relating to public comments to be considered at future council meetings. Would you like me to read through the presiding officer, the mayor?
I'm just wondering if it's in that. I think there's some other vocabulary that talks about disruptive or repetitive.
So the mayor, presiding officer, shall responsibly steward the public comment session to ensure fairness and respect. The mayor, presiding officer, shall have the authority to do the following: reasonably extend or reduce the individual speaking times based on the number of speakers or time constraints to ensure broad resident participation. Modify the total time allotted for public comment when necessary to accommodate the community's needs. Maintain a professional and respectful environment, reserving the right to kindly redirect or terminate remarks that are disruptive, unduly repetitive, or not pertain to the business of the town. Complaints or allegations involving individual town employees, with the exception of department heads or executive level officials, will be addressed through proper administrative channels, not in public sessions. Additionally, references to private individuals, including residents or non-public figures, are not permitted unless directly relevant to the matter under discussion and presented respectively. Any exercise of discretion will be strictly fair and non-viewpoint based, reinforcing the commitment to hearing all voices.
Very good. We have two public comments on that have signed up, or the more that signed in.
That goes to our agenda.
I think there's something, all these sorts of stuff. All right, thank you for your patience on that. Public comment, like the knife, Miss Anita, also door to just count.
Good evening, Mayor Crowley and members of council. Words matter. When you refer to that community or suggest residents represents a crowd, it is dismissive and divisive. If that's the mindset, perhaps the microphone should be turned off before those words are spoken. I would like to submit this statement as a formal complaint for inclusion in the public record regarding language used during a recent budget retreat meeting, which was held Monday, March 30th, 2026. My question is, and I know that you can't answer, who were you referring to? I assume that you were referring to the African American community because you mentioned a resident's name to allude to that crowd. My subject or formal complaint regarding divisive language and conduct, Mayor Crowley, members of council and town clerk. I'm submitting this statement as a formal complaint for inclusion in the public record regarding language used during a recent budget retreat meeting in reference to African American residents of Allendale as that community and that crowd. In a municipality such as Allendale, where elected officials are entrusted to represent all constituents, such language is not only inappropriate, it is divisive. Referring to specific groups of residents in a manner that creates separation or otherness undermines public trust and raises serious concerns about equity, representation, and respect. This concern is not limited to single phrase. It reflects a broader pattern of tone, posture, and communication that has been observed during the first quarter of this newly seated administration. Language that consistently distances or diminishes certain residents contributes to an environment where segments of the community feel marginalized or unheard. As public officials, your words carry weight. Scripture reminds us in James 2:1, and you guys like to read the Bible to us, but you don't follow it for yourself. James 2:1 says, show no partiality. And Proverbs 18:21, that power of the tongue carries consequences. These principles align not only with faith, but the standards of ethical and effective governance. I'm formally requesting the following. Acknowledgement of the language used in this as it impacts. A commitment to more inclusive and respectful communications moving forward. Greater awareness of accountability and how residents of Allendale are referred to and represented in public forums. This complaint is submitted with the expectation that it will be entered into the official record and taken seriously as a matter impacting community trust. There is no that community, Mayor Cross, or that cloud. There's only our community, deserving equal respect, voice, and consideration. And I have submitted this document and hope that you put it in the records. That is respect, sir. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Gore. I acknowledge that went over loud. It's important that everybody gets to say what they'd like to say. We'd like to invite Mr. Garrett Brown.
Thank you so much. I stood up with Ms. Gore and Unity. I won't repeat a lot of the things that she stated, Mayor Crowley. When you walked in my yard, you may not remember during campaigning, you assured me that your whole quest and your team was about unity. I am sad to say I haven't seen a lot of that. And so what I want to expound on Ms. Gore's position tonight is just to really, you have to start, you as leaders and in a community that if you come back from an era that I come from, my mom built her house in 1976, so I was 4. So I can remember where there was no CB restaurant, no Dollar General, and no store, it's TV Post, right? I can also remember as a teenager hearing about the discord when the Dollar General was coming in from a lot of our community, but it was the Black community that supported things like the Dollar General and supported the gas station, the Seaway Outpost, that is now recognized as the place to hang out with the large boats and the trucks and all the good things that we get our gas from there. I can remember those days. I can remember when the Seaway restaurant was just a convenience store. I say all of this to say, you have to understand your community and why your words jumped me out of my bed to say, I had given up after the election, right? Because what was so hurtful is to see the process of decisiveness and the process of the election on whom I thought was the best candidate. And I can tell you, when you walked in my yard, I had nothing against you. But the first thing you said to me was, I don't want to trespass. You didn't say hi. I'm afraid of trespassing. That's not who we are. All citizens. We want everybody to come together and just understand that we need to be represented. And right now, regardless of elections, I look at this board and see the community is not represented. So there is a charge that I give to you, Mayor Crowley, and you've been to meetings. I didn't make the church meeting at First Seaweed. So I took the notes, I asked for the notes. And we have asked you to be in charge, the steward of this board. When you guys make decisions, I sat and watched an election, not an election. You decided on a board member, and I remember that video saying, you said, oh, there's a nice gentleman in the front row, and I like him. But there was also another candidate. That candidate happened to be a person of color. And that person did not get an opportunity to even be considered because you all voted on that first person and boom, that person's now on that board. So I ask you all to make considerations to the community as a whole when you're making decisions on board. And going forward, I have to say, what happened with your decision to make the comments you made the other day? What is the backlash? I might have said the wrong word, from the community, from I'm gonna say her name, Willette Sprout. Willette Austin Huckabee continue to stay in these meetings. She's not here tonight, I see, but I believe that her heart is with this community regardless of losing that race. So when you all understand that we are here together as one, I think we're gonna be a better town. I'm gonna say one more thing. If you are following procedures, I told y'all before, I come from a large bank industry, and I wanna see procedures. What happened to the town clerk? Are we gonna know? And that was the reason you made your comment, what is the fallout? There would be no fallout if there's proper documentation, was she coached? In my word, you'd have to have a performance improvement plan. Why are we here talking about Ms. White taking on additional roles as the clerk? I would like to know these things, because, you know, to be honest, Ms. Donna followed her process. She followed her procedures. I have an application with her now to assist in something I need for my mother with Alzheimer's. And she said, hey, I can't do anything unless you have the proper paperwork. So I'm saying all that to say is what is happening with our town if we are making decisions that could cause us to lose money, lawsuits, all kinds of things. So I just want to make sure going forward that we are following procedures and you guys are looking at everything, Mr. Brown, is diversity, inclusion, all of the things that you mentioned on that tape. We still need to make some decisions based on our community as a whole. Race is a reality. And if we're not represented properly, then that's where the discord is right now. And I feel like there's opportunity for that to be fixed. But until we make the right decisions, the next time we have an opportunity to bring something to our boards, someone to our boards, vet the candidate, go over the applications, make sure that we're making the decision based on who's the best qualified. That's how I had to roll when I was in Wells Fargo. I couldn't make decisions based on race. I made it at the end of the day, but there were times we had to make decisions where my call center was predominantly Black women. Well, we want to be diverse. So have we looked at all the white male candidates? Have we looked at all the white female candidates? Have we looked at all the veterans? These are things that I think our town needs to bring forward and making decisions so everyone can feel included. So words that you stated in that in that budget meeting won't be misconstrued. I'm sorry, man. All over 3 minutes. I thought I had 30.
Mr. Brown, thank you for standing up to speak to what you do then. We appreciate the public comments. Are there any further public comments?
These are new public comments, so this is for the regular meeting.
Okay, Mr. Brubaker. You have public comment. Can you read that? Ms. Poole?
That's Christina, she's
gone.
I think all of these spoke already. Andrew's not really spoke already. Andrew spoke. Susan Cox spoke. Are there any further public comments? All right, hearing none, we'll move to number 12, report from town departments, boards and commissions. We have a fair statement from the Municipal Park Foundation Board as the board representative couldn't be there tonight. So you want to?
Yes, I can move it.
Okay.
Good afternoon. I'm unable to attend tonight's town council meeting. Vice Chair Pepper Alston is also unable to attend. Please share with the council the following update. Operations at the park are moving along nicely. We are seeing a lot of people using entrance 1. It has been uplifting and encouraging to see people outside enjoying nature and sunshine. Signs have been installed at entrances 1 through 3 and at the the Greenway Trail entrance. Our next step is trail development. We are also looking at beefing up entrances 2 and 3. Some board members are out cultivating relationships with educational, conservational, and nature-minded organizations. The board members will have more information on these potential partnerships in the future. The ribbon cutting event is coming up on Saturday, April 18th from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. The board is diligently working to tie up all loose ends for the event. We are honored to announce that we have 2 speakers our own mayor, Mayor Chris Crowley, and the vice chair of Charleston County Council, Councilmember Larry Corporal. Thank you, sorry, I mispronounced your name. We will have light refreshments and water available afterwards. We are looking forward to seeing everyone there. Best regards, Ashley Blythe, who is the chair of the park board.
All right, very good, very proud of the park and, but Mr. Olson, and that whole board, Ms. White with Stevens.
We remind everyone.
The ribbon cutting event again is Saturday, April 18th from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m.
We'll post that on the board.
Yes.
All right, gang, that brings us to the planning department.
Good evening, Town Council. I'm Dan O'Hara, the town planner. I'll start my report by stating that the Board of Zoning Appeals will not be meeting next Monday, April 6th, as we have no applications received. Moving on to the Planning Commission. Planning Commission is scheduled to meet at the regular meeting on Monday, April 20th, 2026. During the month of March, the Planning Commission met twice on March 6th. And on March 31st. On March 6th, the Planning Commission discussed proposed language for the residential zoning districts proposed in the comprehensive plan. They plan to take on that language for further discussion on April 20th. I invite all members of the community to please attend and hear and listen on what they're talking about. It is important. At the March 31st, 2026 meeting earlier this week, the Planning Commission heard a request for a conditional plat. That conditional plat request was denied as the applicant was requested to resubmit the necessary items as requested by staff. The Planning Commission has also previously discussed a separate item that I'd like to address separately here. They asked about potentially shifting the regular scheduled meeting to earlier in the month, from the third Monday of the month to the second Monday of the month. There is no action item here tonight. Moreover, staff wanted to provide that update and that request that has been made by the Planning Commission. As far as the planning department goes, we've been slightly busy in the month of March, given the moving of location. We were able to maintain a good flow of interaction with individuals in the public. We have been experiencing some minor issues with our software. They just did an update, so some things aren't going as smoothly as we hope with our online applications right now. So if anyone has difficulty submitting an application, please don't hesitate to stop in our office and dropping off our copy. Staff are available Monday through Thursday, 8 to 5 for any question, comments, or concerns. And I'm happy to answer any others about planning. Yes, ma'am.
Why did they coordinate their meeting? I don't care.
Matt McQuillan has, I believe it's school board on the third Monday of the month, so there's a general conflict there. So for his attendance in crucial matters.
Does that conflict with when the BZA, I don't know what.
BZA means the first Monday of the month.
Okay.
So they would
It
be
would not
second,
conflict.
they would not compete with them. And the reason for the second Monday is to allow staff more time to prepare documents if they were recommended at that meeting for county council. And then there's several ordinances up for discussion. I was excited to see many members of the community here tonight to speak at the public hearing. There have been others that have spoken that weren't present tonight, so I hope to try to address some of those concerns with staff later.
Correct me if I'm wrong, I think we need to amend the ordinance to the planning commission. They want to meet on a different day, so if you want to write that up and bring it to council for consideration. But I think we specifically wrote that in the ordinance, so it would have to be as a bid.
That is correct.
The schedule.
The schedule, just that section of the ordinance, so if you want to present that to council.
And if there's-
And any other changes you want to take the opportunity to look at.
Anybody have any more questions for Mr. O'Hara? Dan, we're proud of the work you're doing. Thank you for being here. It's a real blessing to have you on the team working on this.
I will say it is a great office that we have, and Kia is a great support system for the planning department, and there's some discussion. I do support Kia. whatever decision is made, so she's a great employee of the town and will service in any role to her utmost ability, so thank you for that.
And. All right, we've got the water and swamp, so you have that.
Yes, I'll do a brief report. So, I believe it was in January, Ron Bycroft noted to the town council that there were 2 fire hydrants that were, one needed repair and one needed replacement. That has since been completed. So both of those have been, the one on Door Road has been repaired or replaced, and the one on Highway 17 has been repaired. So that has been paid for, and we have operating, fire hydrants there.
Very good.
Can we, going forward, can we get an update from Water of how many new subscribers are coming on each month?
You may have to have a template for one of the four, some kind of.
Yeah. And I think that would just be helpful as we need to strategically plan for that.
Yes.
Anything further for water? All right, number 13 is a town administrator report.
The first two items will kind of go in tandem. The ramp is almost complete. He just needs to get some, Curtis needs to just get some new brackets, and also needs to do some sanding. That should be completed by tomorrow. And the HVAC is currently running and is operating. We have it in. It's been very nice to have. We can adjust the temperatures as needed. But I would like to thank JDC Services for that. And then the status on the 2024 audit, we are still working with the auditors to complete that. They will be coming in the last 2 weeks of April to not only work on the 2024 audit, but I believe they were also planning on working on the 2025 audit as well in tandem. So we should be moving quite more quickly, so they could do complete one, and then I'll also start and continue to upload 2025 items.
Yes. Sorry, did they already give us a proposal to go ahead and move into that? Here, I can't remember what the proposal, or if we're doing it.
Yes, they did.
Okay.
They did give us the proposal to move into 2025. And the last item is we do have some upcoming vacancies on our boards and commissions in July. We have, that will be advertised shortly in May. We have 1, 2, 3 on the park board, and we have 3 on the Board of Zoning Appeals. And those will be properly advertised, and we'll also look for other ways where we advertise to ensure that we are getting more community applicants as well.
And none on planning?
The
Should be 2. Those are the planning should have.
The ones I have for planning, unless we need to change the terms of expiration, I have them for 2027, and I can send this Excel sheet to council.
This year. It should be this year.
If they fill someone's spot, they're just filling their term, they would extend it. So we just need to verify the planning.
I'll verify with this PS.
Okay.
We need to look at that because the planning and the BZA are supposed to track. So
Yeah, they are, like certain, when they're supposed to be rolling off around the same time.
I'll confirm with
Yeah.
on the terms of the planning commission. But those terms are of July 1, 2026.
Technically, June 30th is the new ones. We would vote in June for them to start in July at those meetings. So July 1 would be the start. Yes, yeah.
That is all I have.
Right, number 14, council report. You council members have anything to do report to discuss?
Monday, Berkeley Electric was here at the playground.
I saw this.
I don't have anything official, I'm just letting you guys know that that project was moving forward. They're working with the playground designer and coming up with something great. So I gave them a couple of things. I would like to see a covered shelter for parents to be able to give snacks and take a break from the sun without having to go outside the fenced-in area. And I think they would be looking for community volunteers to help with some landscaping. They're gonna go probably a little bit outside of their scope of work to help trim some of the trees and maybe help with some. That's it.
Very pleased about this. about that part. That would work from the council. All right, mayor's report, we have a few things to cover. I'm not gonna carry you too long because if we keep it this pace, we might get out of here before tomorrow. I do need to make appointments for the bids and purchases committee. And I would like to appoint Councilwoman Helms as the West Means. Like to appoint Frank Frazier as a financial expert, previous council member. I'd like to appoint John Timmons. Let's see, other new business, there was a big cleanup.
I have a question, please, if you don't mind. Appointments of bids and purchases committee, this is in pursuant to what authority?
Pursuant to the town code, so
The
in the,
current purchase bids and purchase ordinance now.
yes, sir.
Which we're about to change all that, correct?
Correct, but in order to sell the town vehicles that was voted on during one of the previous special called meetings, a bids and purchase committee needs to be appointed. And so pursuant to chapter 34.017 government authority, the bids and purchase committee as appointed by the mayor shall act as the principal public procurement governing authority of the town. And then it states that the bids and purchases committee shall consist of 3 persons, one of the 3 persons being a member of the town council. And so that is the way that the current code is written, that is the authority of the mayor. And we checked that with our legal counsel prior to adding it to the agenda.
That's great, that's astounding, but I would have liked to have had that in a written form in addition to this agenda, so I would know exactly what we were doing. Or what was being done, because we're not making the decision the mayor is, but at least we know what he's doing and by what authority he's doing it. Thank you.
That's valid. Let's see, again, thank you all for being here. There are a few things that have been going on that sort of mayor stuff, town stuff that would be interesting for you all to know. One of them is that the Romaine Retreat community, I did a cleanup on Subi Road. I don't know if you all noticed how much cleaner Subi Road is and the drive into town council. That was, but they had, this was on March 7th, they had 22 participants from ages 8 to 76. And collected 85 bags of garbage, off of Sealy Road. And I won't call out who it is, but there were 2 of them especially that were just like down in the ditches, like down in like where you wouldn't want to go because of the snakes and briars and things like that. And just really went all out to get that done, and I really appreciate that. From that community and for those, and from that, for that effort. It's a big deal. The second point that I have here is that, Councilwoman Gasper and I went to the Charleston County Council meeting. And I was in terrible traffic, but I still beat you there.
No.
But man, it's a hard meeting to get to. You really gotta wanna go the time of day they have that meeting and the traffic load. We were there to talk about conservation funds, and a lot of what we'd like to do to preserve the rural culture of our town is do more conservation. Purchasing, right now, the county council is looking at transportation tax, and they're looking at taking money away from the conservation, from the Greenbelt Fund, and putting it into mass transit, which is what it is. They're looking at moving 16.24% from 20%, which would cost the conservation bank about $160 million. So that's $160 million we don't have to spend on land conservation and providing rural culture for communities that right there.
That's just for the upcoming proposed sales tax, correct? And it hadn't passed.
It hasn't passed.
We don't know what it's gonna be. They're not taking money away from what's already there.
And they're just moving money. Yeah, that's right. That's correct.
This is the proposed.
this is-
It will be voted on in November.
Right. Thank you for that.
So we're advocating for full funding for Greenbelt.
Good for y'all. See if you can get even more
Yeah, I was really proud of us for showing up and they were happy to see all of y'all there. Eric Davis, who's Dreambelt, came up and that's, I wish the park board were here tonight because he said, we're so excited. Y'all are gonna open the park. So we're really proud of you guys for being ready to open the park. And Mr. Davis and I stood outside the council chambers and talked to a fellow named George Freeman. Do y'all know George Freeman? He's a prominent fellow storyteller and a historian and community advocate. We talked about the overlay district, we talked about those property, we talked about the Gullah Geechee corridor. And I think he's a resource for us and a resource for what's going to be necessary in this town that residents from suffering from what we're trying to say to developers like Fulton. So more to come on that. The other, I got to meet our senator, Saab, Mr. Ronnie Saab and I were at the same event for the SCPRT, the South Carolina Parks and Recs. Furthermore, opening this multi-node park on the Black River, which is a significant park. It is a huge piece of conservation in the riparian landscape. And I was so pleased to be asked to come and make remarks for that. I got to meet Mr. Saab, and he wants to meet. He wants to figure out what we need in this town. I think he's a powerful ally, and I can't wait to develop that relationship. Do you know what that is? Do you know what's going on? I also got to speak to our governor who was there as well. Governor Master spoke, and he is a conservationist, so it's difficult to agree with everyone's politics, but Governor Master is certainly a conservationist, and we got to talk and talk a little bit about Allendale. So I was proud to be able to go there and do that. Feels like there's so much going on. I do want to take just a second and apologize for my just offer a sincere apology to everyone, all of the citizens of the town of Allendale for my words during the budget retreat that where I expressed concern, where I expressed a wondering of how our community felt about the difficult day we were having and the termination of a longtime town employee. And I did not mean to be divisive or disrespectful. And I ask for your grace and forgiveness. And I want you to know I start off every day praying for this town. And I'll try to do that. I do think that we should look at this Holy Week on the 2027 calendar and make sure that we're not having town council meetings that conflict with Long Day Thursday. So that we can have everybody here with the budget meeting. That concludes my report for this session. Thank you. We'll move on to item 16, unfinished business. Ordinance 2025-45, an ordinance for a text amendment of existing plan development, all adult storage identified by tax by TMS 661-00-00-029. Amendment to include clarifications to dimensional standards, development requirements, and development review procedures pending second reading.
As stated previously, this is still pending legal counsel and in coordination with our town planner, in addition to the property owner and bit of legal counsel. So this is not ready for second reading, and there is no action to be taken It is still listed as, and will continue to be listed as unfinished business until it is ready to be discussed for ordinances for second reading so that we can accurately track all pending items moving forward.
Quick question about that, you probably don't know anything about it, I'm sure, but Dan, you're here. It approves there's some site work going on that property now. Do they have any permits?
If I may, can I approach?
Sure, please do.
For the record, there's been no work on that property, no authorizations have been granted for that property.
So Miss, I got the wrong property.
I believe so.
What's the one where the site work is doing?
Can you explain the site work?
There's silk fence around it, there are various signs up for professional services, there's been clearing and grading.
Along comments of the team.
Yes.
I have to look at aerial imagery and.
All right,
exact
I'll
address.
look you later. Okay. I thought that was this,
Yes.
apparently I'm in here. But I'll get with you. Thank you.
If there's any questions about the status of that, more than happy to answer. Planning commission provided edits, staff and legal counsel are now working through those edits and the applicant.
Thank you for your diligence. Thank you for being here too as a resource. So just to be clear, ordinance 2025-44 is on the record and no action necessary. We'll move to item B under unfinished business number 16, resolution 2026-01, a resolution adopting the goals and priorities of the town of Nollingville Town Council as a strategic plan for fiscal year 2026-2027. I entertain a motion to adopt the resolution of the goals and priorities of the town council.
Motion to approve.
I'll second that motion.
Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? I love that unanimous passing, that really spells out what we have to get done coming up. So you have fun. Yeah, ordinances, number 17, ordinances for second reading. Ordinance 2026-04, an ordinance to amend chapter 153 zoning code tree preservation requiring provision subsection 153.195 to restructure the review mitigation and site restoration process for keeping of protecting trees. Let's have a motion on how we proceed with 2026.
I'll make a motion. I'll make it easy so we can get out of here before tomorrow.
Good.
I would move that we defer items under number 17A. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I would actually defer it to a special workshop meeting in council that I think we need to establish tonight.
So we have a motion on the floor. Do we hear a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
I sent Dan my edit and he's very generous that he responded and we were able to meet before the meeting and I think Dan, especially on some of them, he's even recommending that we defer. There's some things that do need to go back to planning. Not because we haven't already done good work, but we are enlisting help from like yard keepers, scout, like other folks who obviously they came and spoke at the public hearing in support of our work, and they even indicated some areas where we need to reevaluate. And so I think if we do a meeting, as Mr. Cross has suggested, that we make sure we include or invite those stakeholders. But I just want to write a lot of good work has been done with ordinances. So we're still in a good position. We just want to make sure that we plug as many holes as possible.
I agree. I gotta get it right. to start off with, they have to come back and then there's really no hurry, there's a moratorium, and they've already got.
And we've already had first reading, so we're in the pending ordinance.
I think it would be, I think I'm really happy with what I've seen so far. I still have a few questions, and I think there's still just a few things to tweak and that we need to be certain about. So I'm feeling really good about the work that's been done so far. I agree with giving us a little more time to pass a clean ordinance and make sure we've got it right.
I agree as well. I think there's been some good comments made here tonight that are worth taking a closer look, from citizens and everyone. The motion also has in it that we pick to have this special call meeting to do this ordinance workshop. Do we pass the motion and then pick a date, or do we have to pick a date and then?
The way that it was prescribed by Councilman Prosser, and please correct me if I'm wrong, was the intent was to schedule it at this specific meeting.
Right.
So before it's like included with the vote, you would have it state that whatever the council decides, where there's a quorum of council members who have the meeting. And I have the calendar up as well.
Y'all wanna look at your calendars, let's find a date and do this work.
How much time do we need to advertise and to make sure we invite the stakeholders?
24 hours.
Well, we need to invite the stakeholders.
So it's a public meeting, they can come.
No, the point is for their expertise to participate. And not just
I would say at least a 2-week window, just knowing
Yeah.
what everybody's schedules, have full people's calendars that.
And if you would like it during the day or the afternoon, like the evening.
If you wanna do it this month, the only time I can't do it is the evening of the 14th. I'm available any other time, day or night.
I would also suggest not picking the 14th, as that is the municipal park board regularly scheduled meeting.
How about the 13th, that Monday?
I'm totally out. Or I got 3 meetings I did.
Oh, I would almost suggest looking at the week of the 20th.
Looks like I have a window on the 17th, I'd rather do it early than late. What's the 17th?
I would state that the 17th, we would be asking staff members if you would like them present to be coming in on a date that they're not scheduled.
I'm just chaperoning for a field trip. You're welcome to have this without me, but it's actually with Coastal Expedition, so.
Yeah, that would be great. They can show them what you're working with.
I can do it on the 16th, or I can do it the week after.
I have a resilience conference, and speaking. Columbia.
But again, feel free to move on without me. I've submitted my comments.
I may ask for the town council and for the record, are there particular stakeholders that you would like staff to invite, or will town council invite said stakeholders?
I think you should invite them, please.
You know who they are, right? Folks that we're.
Like the people who were earlier spoke, and if they have a suggestion of someone else who should attend, that may be a subject matter expert.
What's the 18th or the 28th? Tuesday the 28th. I have town hall. Bird presentation. This looks like maybe your schedule makes up. Listen to that. I don't know.
That's the other on
Tentative town hall bird presentation, 6 photo. Presentation. I don't know what's that is. Does the 28th work for you guys at any point of the day? Tuesday?
Yes.
Works for me. What's the temperature on time of day? Y'all wanna get it done early, or you wanna come late and stay till the next day?
I like daytime.
Morning, yeah.
7:30. 7:30.
7:30, I can do 7:30.
I'm a Rosebud.
Me too.
I would also state that you are asking.
Eight o'clock, 8:50.
9
o'clock.
9 o'clock, I gotta do school.
All right, so gang, everybody, get your calendars on this, is a forum
Happy to see this then.
on Tuesday, April 28th at 9 o'clock. For free strike,
Sounds good.
Works for me.
works for you, Mr. Brown? Let's see.
Dan, I may send you a couple of suggestions if we can find.
Is there, just for the record, again, there were a significant amount of public comments here tonight, but there were also some that have been provided to the planning commission directly that may look at these ordinances in a different lens. Would it be beneficial for staff to provide names of individuals who have gone on the public record and spoken about these ordinances for town council to consider? Invite individually?
All information is good, yeah, let's get as much as we can, let's not set it up in a projected that stare at 2 hours. So. We find another way.
Yeah, if
there-
there are comments, that would be helpful, that if you can easily compile those, then that would be helpful.
And if there's anything else y'all would like to include or for me to include in these staff reports that y'all have about these ordinances, I'm more than happy to do that. Feel free to reach out and I can address those directly.
Thank you for all the work you've done on this. I know Dan has taken his Friday, which is normally his day not to work, to have calls with Kinsey and myself, that he's put in a tremendous amount of time to help move this forward.
Yeah, no doubt, yeah, good going. All right, gang, we got 0900, April 28th, which is a Tuesday. We have, I believe, we fulfilled the obligations of the motion on the floor, and as a second, does anybody have any further conversation over it?
Just for staff's reference, the deferral for these to a workshop refer to which ordinances in particular by title, please.
So I will, if I may.
Go.
So it's ordinance 2026-04, an ordinance to amend chapter 153 zoning tree preservation requirements division subsection 153.195, 153.196 to restructure the review, mitigation, and site restoration process for the removal of protected trees.
You're not
Ordinance,
gonna read all those, are you?
that was the request.
For the record, which ones were deferred?
Can we just call by ordinance number?
At our last meeting, we just did that and it was for the record to ensure that the proper title was listed adjacent to those. So
That might be here till tomorrow.
I'll try to go quickly. Ordinance 2026-05, ordinance to the town of Allentown, South Carolina to amend title 9, land usage, or no, sorry, 15, land usage, chapter 153, zoning code, subdivision regulations, section 153.305, water and sewage disposal of the code of the town of Allentown, ordinance 26-06, an ordinance of the town of Allentown, South Carolina to amend title 15, title 15 land usage, chapter 153 zoning code, general provisions of the code of the town of Allentown, South Carolina. By amending section 153.009 definitions, adopting a new section 153.065, amending lighting regulations along with new sections 153.0066 through 153.070, thereto providing for the new lighting regulations. And lastly, ordinance 2026-07, an ordinance of the town of Allentown, South Carolina to amend title 15 land usage, chapter 153 zoning code, wetlands and waterway setbacks divisions of the code of town of Allentown, South Carolina, by renaming the division to wetlands protection and repealing the existing section 153.225 thereto and adding new section 153.225 along with new sections 153.226 through 153.238 thereto providing for the protection of tidal and freshwater wetlands and all affected sections to clarify section 153.009 definitions to include Proposed definition, section 153.025 through 153.032, description of zoning districts to reference the wetland standards.
Well done.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Let the record show that, Mr. Forte.
That's the meeting.
All right, so that brings us to the ordinance 2026-10, an ordinance of the town of Allendale, South Carolina, to amend Title 15 Land Uses, Chapter 153 zoning code, general provisions of the code of the town of Allendale, South Carolina, by amending section 153.009 definitions of new section 152.051 vesting rights, along with the new section 152.052 through 153.060, thereto providing for vested rights ordinance and procedure. Is there a motion to,
Motion to approve.
Second.
any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Unanimous. So be first reading, number one, ordinance 2026-08, annexation ordinance using the 100% petition method of tax map number 629-00-00-059 Room Straw Hill Road.
Do we have any exhibits for these?
The ordinances were provided and we can attach the exhibits moving forward with the map and the application as well. Those have all been presented to legal counsel.
Do we also include the annexation petitions too going forward?
Yes, that was the applications for the petitions.
Motion to approve that one.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Number two, ordinance 2020, motion passes. Ordinance 2026-11, an ordinance of the town of Allendale, South Carolina, to amend title 15 land uses, chapter 153 zoning code, section 153.009 definitions to include the definition of structure.
Motion to approve. Right?
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll
Yes.
second.
Okay, we have a motion, a second, any discussion?
Yes,
Sir,
we had a public hearing on this earlier, correct?
Yes,
And it's not yet even received first reading.
for state law, you can do it at either first
I
reading.
know, I'm just questioning our protocol.
It was recommended by legal counsel to also do it at first reading and we met the.
So-
We can have an additional public hearing if we would like also
Sure.
at second.
So going forward, this is already been to the planning commission for their review and recommendation, correct?
That is correct for the record,
So-
that document.
So after first reading tonight, we just do second reading and it's done.
Yes,
No
sir.
public hearings or planning commission. Right, thank you for that clarification.
any further discussion? You got something? Paul? No, it's all good.
That's right. Having it.
All right, so,
Like, vote for something you didn't want.
hearing no further discussion, we'll call the vote. All in favor? All opposed? Passes unanimously. Ordinance 2026-12, annexation ordinance using the 100% petition method of tax map number 629-00-00-266 1325 Cedar Plantation Lane.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve, do I hear a second?
A second.
Any discussion?
Yeah, I'll just, so we don't have exhibits for 3 or 4.
No, it's presented in the same manner as 2026
Okay. All right. Thank you for that.
Dan, any concerns or issues with any of these? Either of these?
To date, I have not handled the annexation applications. I can provide comments, concerns at second reading for this if y'all would.
No, I just didn't.
All of the properties have been, gone through legal counsel and confirmed that they are contiguous.
And there's no like extenuating circumstances with somebody trying to pull a fence.
No, it's the property owners have submitted for the, annexation requests. We have those, they have been received. I have then gone on to confirm that they are contiguous. And, that the ordinance currently drafted is the way that they are, written. Like, so that they're all, classified when coming into the town as agricultural. Because that is the closest zoning designation.
As long as there's the legal review.
Yes.
I'll, any more conversation, any more discussion? All right, hearing none, we'll call for the vote, all in favor, say aye. All opposed, say no. Passes unanimously. Ordinance 2026-13 annexation ordinance using 100% petition method of tax map number 664-00-00-009 6478 come about when.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve, is there a second? Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Passes unanimously. Number 18, other business items. A, consideration of installing keypad locks in town hall. I think Wendy, Ms. Helms, this was yours.
Yes. More efficient than keys.
Yeah, I've got them, I've installed those, I have those in a few different places. And you can give individuals a code on them, so you know who's using the lock, I don't know how it reports, it's beyond me where it sends to. Where your else thoughts on keypads instead of keyholes?
So I have a question, we would get a system that records who comes, who it is, and at what time they come and go.
I mean, the Ring camera already does that at the front door.
Well, that's just the front door.
Right.
It needs to be for wherever we have keys, and let me ask, where do we have keys?
We have keys to every single office. We have keys to every storage room. And we also have keys to, since it's just at town hall, it would be to any of the exterior doors as well.
And that's 3 doors?
Yes.
More.
Well, for like including these, so this is a different set of keys. And then there's 3 on the building, so that would actually be a total of 5. But that's 1 key for the exterior on that, so 3 doors is on 1 key. I think
Thank you. Anything about cost?
we would, I'm not sure on the cost, I could get that and bring it back to the council before, and have different variations of keypads. You would also want to make sure that not all key codes go to each individual office. There are certain items that you would want all employees to have access to.
Correct. Because at one point we had talked about, the financial manager's office having its own key code.
Yes, because currently right now, not all staff members are able to get into any other staff member's office. They only have access to their office. The only one that has that exception is myself, so the 2 employees. And that changed after we did have an incident back in July, I believe, or at least, so we have recently just changed all of the keys.
Sounds good to me.
It sounds like I need more information on it, there's some things.
And I'm not necessarily saying put it on all the individual offices, but I think for sure, like maybe.
Just the exterior.
Like exterior doors,
Yeah.
I think that's
So give us all the information you find out, please.
I might also, when they do the exterior doors, might also look at maybe upgrading the exterior doors or even have the keypads and then maybe they'll be better.
All right, any further discussion on installing keypad locks?
No.
All right,
Do we need a motion?
No, because it was just an item for consideration for the council, and I will come back to the council with a more detailed report related to the lots. Related to the types of different lots that then varying costs and also varying different types of doors to ensure that. When we put on the new locks, that we have a sufficient door as well. And that'll be for all exterior doors, that'll be 5 total.
Sounds good. Yeah, these two.
Well, you can just.
Yes.
do one.
Not those three.
You can just do one here. Yeah. Cause when you come to here, oh, that.
So just run by Robert's Rules of Education, when it says consideration, that means you don't need a motion, but if it's, right?
Because it leads the way, because it's an action item,
Right.
so like if you were to make an action, you can, but it's not absolutely required.
Excellent, so consider, so going B, consideration of the 2026 transportation sales tax. TST intersection project for intersection, this is mine, isn't it, for intersection improvement in town hall. Hey, I got a phone call on my cell phone from it was Eric, Eric Adams, yeah, from the Ringo.
Eric Davis.
Eric Davis from the Ringo, wasn't Eric Adams, Eric Davis from the Ringo, he was like, hey, Chris, I was like, dude, use your cell phone, can I record it, you can call you whoever I want. And he said, this is nothing about Greenbelt. This is about the highway lane, so if y'all need to either decide on the roundabout at Door Road or the or at Steve Creek Road. And we need it by Friday, because we've got to spend that money. So he was talking to, I guess, Eric Davis, but the idea is like, the way the phone call sounded to me is that if we want one of those projects, we need to go ahead and tell them which one it is, or they're gonna have to keep money somewhere else. Right, and I know we talked all around it, and I missed the thing, does anybody, is the roundabout at Doors? And, nobody likes that idea, how about the art thing at Steve Creek?
I have questions about all of that. That's why we have to have some exhibits. We don't have any exhibits for this whatsoever.
None, this item was discussed late yesterday after.
And what happened to the thing at Seaway and 50 Mile Landing Road? I thought we had drawings for that.
Previously discussed with Eric Adams, as I have stated at other council meetings, that intersection, the county and SCDOT do not consider that a feasible project
But it
for
isn't,
multiple
it
reasons.
isn't because it isn't safer the way they suggested we do it, it's because.
What project? What are we talking?
The intersection at Seaway and 15 Mile and.
What improvement? Well, I mean, the county gave us a presentation before and showed us at least 3 or
Yes,
4.
yes, sir.
alternatives. So you're telling me none of those are feasible?
No, they are stating because there was a large public outcry related to the ARP cut proposed, not only from. It was from this, not this current council, but a previous town council and the public. Because they didn't want an R cut, they would rather have a traffic light, and so
I don't recall anything from the public. It was from the council.
it was both.
This was from the public, this was before we were elected, Ken.
I was here at the meeting. I know.
Right, I was at that meeting, but apparently there were other meetings.
So the Charleston County came back and stated that for a feasible project, they would like to have council's approval to move forward, and then also a positive reinforcement from the public, because they don't want to allocate funds to a project that is not viable from the public or from the council.
Why would we do this in Steep Creek Road? It really needs to go at Seaway and
Steve
17.
Steve Creek Road is also one of the, at a previous council meeting, I provided a list of dangerous rural intersections. And Steve Creek Road is one of the top rural intersections. That is a dangerous intersection.
It's less so than the one I just
Okay.
mentioned, which
Yeah, it's more dangerous at CV and 17.
absolutely.
But again, the project for Sealy and 17, if they were going to move forward, would only be, only project they would look at is the R cut there.
Right. So we need to address that.
What?
Yes.
We have a moment.
I respectfully completely disagree with you, Councilman Frost. An R cut will not work at Seaweed and 17 and 15 Mile Landing, because don't start. Because people are going to turn right, which is
I
where.
understand how it works. You don't have to explain.
I would like to finish.
Let's
my-
go this way, so when you want to finish your thought.
Go ahead.
You have to turn right, which is where you also turn into Seaweed Outpost, have to turn left, then have to do a U-turn, which is where you also come out of Seaweed Outpost. I will not support that whatsoever. I do that every day coming out of my neighborhood. I cannot imagine adding commercial traffic. The reason Steve Creek is a better fit because it is on the list of the dangerous intersection. I know you're not on Facebook, but there are people who post about significant accidents that have happened there in the past year.
We do traffic.
Let her
plans
finish,
on Facebook.
let her finish.
Steve Creek is a better fit.
Order.
Steve Creek is a better fit because there's not a commercial node, there's not a major subdivision there, but it would help alleviate and hopefully make it safer. Can we affect bad drivers? No, we can't. But the thing is, we've got the money, we have the opportunity to make at least one of our intersections safer. And I don't think the traffic circle is urgent. I do think doing something at Steve Creek would help there. But 17 and Seaweed is not, in my opinion, a good fit for an ARCA.
There needs something. Maybe an archive isn't what it means, and I accept it, but.
The only other alternative that's the best that we can get, under current situation. And if we don't do that, then we'll be waiting until such time as DOT, the warrant study for DOT, will allow a signal. It doesn't matter how many people squawk or call people or light their hair on fire and rend their clothes. It's not gonna happen until the warrant study says it can happen.
Right.
And this would be, in my opinion, would be the best solution for what we have now. I mean, fully funded, it can be built. Who knows how long it would be before there's a light at the
What is
intersection
this?
there.
An ARCA at Seaweed and 17.
But that's not enough.
Yes, it is an option.
No.
When Eric called me, he said, do you want a roundabout by town hall or do you want an archive on Steve Creek?
But if we tell them we'd rather have an ARCA at this other location, they'll say, okay.
Right.
They actually offered that to us before, but they didn't have the funding to do it. And council, we had funding to do a minor improvement there that would have helped, but council said, no, we don't want that. We want the traffic light, and we're not gonna spend any money till we get a traffic. Was basically what happened at the meeting I attended, Paul.
I was at the same one.
Okay.
Right.
I didn't, that. Eric.
So if we offered that to them, they'd say, okay.
If I may respectfully disagree, because I have spoken with the Director of Public Works. And he has stated that that is not a feasible project. They will
For
not,
what reason?
because of the reasons that I've stated, because. This council that.
It's a previous council.
If that is the decision of Charleston County Public Works and also the decision of SCDOT, they will not consider a feasible project because there's no community buy-in for an ARCA at that intersection. They will consider a feasible project at Steve Creek, at
And there's
The
community
roundabout.
buy-in for that? When has that been presented to the public?
Is,
we have discussed it previously here at other council meetings recently this year.
I have not missed a council meeting yet, and I have not seen that.
We have discussed it as a potential project when I did bring it forth to the council when this came up as the roundabout, because that was a public comment submitted to the county. And I discussed with Eric Adams of other feasible projects, and Steve Creek was one of those, and that was listed and that is on the record.
Grace.
thank you. I don't feel like I'm qualified to make transportation decisions.
Facebook.
And I've tried
Facebook.
to get us to.
Facebook is called. Maybe John, yes, sorry.
I tried to get us to find a time to schedule a meeting with Eric Adams to get some more information from the county. But I think because there are some issues that need to be addressed. Is it possible the county could dedicate some money to us to evaluate potential projects or help us evaluate these projects so that we can make a better, more informed decision? I share your concern about an arcut making Seaweed Road and 17 worse. And I don't think, I don't think a roundabout is a good solution here. But I also don't feel like I know enough about the problems at Steve Creek. So I would suggest that we need, and they need our answer by tomorrow.
That's, yes.
If
Let
there's,
let me interject if you don't mind. It appears that those are our only two choices. If we can believe what we've been told, and we haven't been told anything otherwise. So we have two choices. We can vote for the roundabout, or we can vote for the archive at Steep Creek Road, or we can just agree to forego the money, period. So those who want the archive at Steep Creek Road, somebody make a motion. Let's see, right around the flag.
When this first came up, I thought it was just to agree on the project, and then we identify which one in particular that we wanted. I didn't never knew it was gonna be that we would have to make a decision tonight. And you said it's an archive at Steep Creek.
Right.
I'm trying to picture how that's gonna work.
I think that then you gotta make a, gotta go north to his south and go.
At Steep Creek.
Right.
If it has to be one, that it probably works better at Steep Creek, because there's way too much traffic.
Because there's no commercial, there's no major subdivision.
I trust that, and it may be, I'll talk to Eric, and it may be that a roundabout is 3 times more expensive than an archive or something like that. He's saying, make a decision on what volume of.
They're not gonna ask us to make a decision on for transportation improvement. They don't have the money to pay for it.
Right.
Because coming out of Steep Creek Road, there's a lot of logging trucks that come out of Steep Creek Road. So it might be difficult for logging trucks, because they come across 17 and they're going north to the paper mills, there used to be paper mills, stuff like that, so.
Right.
They like to turn around and go 17 north, that might be difficult for them, they might get another route, but. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
To answer your question, Councilman Crochet too, it was stated that we were going to like do more research and have Eric Adams come and present. This new information came yesterday afternoon for us to make a decision. They called the mayor directly, which is why it's on the agenda.
I think the closing of town hall and all the work that was being done in Chapman, like. It's an interference with what I heard. I'll entertain a motion, our job at Steve Creek in 17.
Motion to approve.
And second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Alright,
All opposed?
no, just because I don't feel like I know, I'm not sure it's a bad idea, I just don't feel like, I'll understand that.
We don't do either one now, will this money come back around next year?
That's a good question.
This is transportation sales tax money,
Yeah.
so can they just, can we tell them that we're not transportation experts and we need some additional guidance?
We need to have our house more in order to be informed you want to be before today.
Yeah.
My understanding when I talked to him is just not, we don't get to put it in a savings
It
account.
didn't happen. And here's the thing, we called, there was a motion, there was a second, there was a vote and pass. I will get in touch with Eric tomorrow and let him know what happened.
Can we be clear for the record, did you get from the record the A's and the nays?
Yes, 1 nay, 1 abstention, and 5,
You abstained?
Yes.
Okay, I thought you voted no.
I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
A motion to adjourn.
Second.
Any discussion? Nope.
hearing that.
Oh, I do have one more. Hey, listen. That was a hard day on. With Miss Donna. With Miss Donna Steve, she was an employee, she served as town for a few decades. And the idea that we would have a meeting and now acknowledge her. Her time spent here, her effort here would be disrespectful. And as far as say for the record, that Miss Donna Steve deserves some recognition for her 22 years of service to the town.